What's going on, YouTube? Back again with another video. Today we're going to be looking at SOFI and LYFT, but first let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY. Let's jump right into it. Let's go to the charts. Okay, looking at the SPY. Okay, so last week we saw that the SPY went ahead and took a dump. It broke the level of 683.31. Okay, and then it continued down to 680, but couldn't quite make it to 677. Got a nice bullish candle on the 15-minute here. Went back up to 683, retested that level, and couldn't quite hold it. Well, yeah, we did close. We closed above 683. That's not very strong though, but be that as it may, we did gap up pre-market. All right, we fell below, okay, after hours, and then boom. So here we are, we're at 684 right now, looking like we wanted to retest 685, 686, I'm sorry. All right, so this morning we'll be watching for the SPY 686. Will definitely give us a push to the upside. Okay, and if we reject 686, we will expect to retest 683. Okay, so let's look at LYFT. LYFT is looking pretty good pre-market. All right, let's look at it on the 4-hour. Okay, so we can see that we've been hanging around this area here for quite a while, since December 15th. Okay, so now it's time for us to go ahead and retest 2053. Okay, this was the level that we rejected. Let's see, it was 2053 back on December 22nd. Okay, so we rejected, fell down 1960 level. Okay, and we reclaimed 1960. Closed above that this past, what was it, Friday? Okay. So now today we could see a slight drop, but I'm anticipating that we hold this 1960. I got calls, y'all, so we better hold 1960. All right, and from 1960 going right back up to 2053, but we needed to break. We needed to break this time. So if we can break 2053, we can go ahead and start moving up towards 2098, which will be our next level. My target for LYFT is 2283. I have the June 2026 calls, holding 13 contracts right now. So I plan to offload at 2053, 2098, 2150, and 2287. All right, so those are the levels. Your stop loss should be below 1861 or 1832. Okay, if you are just now getting in LYFT, okay, if you're not late to the party. All right, I've been in this since it was at 22, so I've had to average into this position. Okay, you still have the 1740 level. Okay, so if we lose 1861, I will be exiting. I don't want to hold throughout this drawdown because this is more than likely where we're going to be headed to. So hopefully we can go ahead and get a nice push today. I can go ahead and start trimming. If we do break 2053 and come back down and retest this and begin to fall, I'll probably just go ahead and just take profit. Depending on how this looks, and then I'll just get a better average when it comes back down to 1960. All right, so that's LYFT. SOFI made a little bit of money, not a lot, off puts last week while it was in a downtrend. All right, now we have broken this downtrend. All right, we were in a downtrend for about a month since December. Now we have a nice green candle here. Nice wick down into this zone, and we broke this level. All right, we broke our trend line, our downward trend line. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, looking at the 4 hour, looking at the MAs, we have broken above the 8-day, the 20 MA, and the 50 MA. Okay, you see that right here? This is the 50, this is the 8, and this is my 20-day. And we're above all of three of those. So now we are at the 200. Okay, so this is critical right here, because if we can break the 200, we're definitely going to go ahead and head back up to try to retest our previous level of 3290. Okay, we still have a few things, a few levels to break, some intraday levels. 3043 is a little intraday level. Let me go ahead and mark that off. I like to do my intraday levels with dotted lines, so I know that those are not major levels. Okay, but we could see a pullback when it gets here. We probably won't see that today. All right, but I'm looking for a pullback into 2685 before entering SOFI. All right, SOFI calls. We're looking at 30-day expirations on SOFI. All right, so if you go down to your options, make sure you're on calls. Okay, go to the 30-day, 32-day expiration, which is February 6, 2026. We want at the money or in the money calls. Depending on what you can afford, that's the contract that you should buy. But keep in mind, the further out the money you get, the smaller the delta is going to be. So meaning that the smaller your yield is going to be as the stock moves. Okay, and being that we only have a 30-day contract, time decay, also known as theta, is going to eat up your contracts within the next week. Okay, so let's make sure we're grabbing the 27 call, or 26, 25, anything that's deep in the money, or we can go slightly out of the money or at the money, 180, 142. Okay, which is the 28 call, 28 strike, or the 29 strike. All right, you're looking at $180 for the 28 strike, $142 for the $29 strike. Me personally, I would go ahead, if you can, do the 27. If you have an account that can handle that. If not, your other option is to do 2 weeks out. So you can do the January 16th. Okay, and we can do the 27 call here, and let's see, we're looking at $128. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, and especially since it's not going to be $128 when you enter. Okay, and this is what I mean by that. We've already gotten confirmation, okay, that this thing is ready to go. We just want a pullback so we can get into this thing. All right, so when it pulls back, see, I have an alert set here at 26.91. All right, 26.91. Let's make sure it's correct. Price below. All right, watch for rejection or break. All right, that was an old note. So now we're gonna say look for entry here. Boom. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up this chart now. Let's get rid of this. Okay, let's get rid of this. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we want to do. We want to wait for this thing to pull back, and when it pulls back, it's going to be somewhere around $100 for this play, which is not bad at all. So if you have a $500 account, you want to make sure you're only grabbing one contract. All right, we're not maxing out our account. All right, you grab one contract, and look how tight our stop loss is going to be. All right, so if we get it here, our stop loss, we could set that right here, 25.80. Or if you want to keep a really tight stop loss, when we go back into this, see this trend line? If we come back into this trend line, you can go ahead and exit, which will be right below where you enter. So if we're entering at 26.84.85 and we dropped down to 26.62, if you wanted to exit, you could. You could keep a tight stop, because I expect for us to have a nice bounce off of this 20 MA. If we don't get a nice bounce, I won't be entering anyway. Okay, so we're not gonna just enter because price falls down to 26.85. All right, we want the price to fall there, but when it falls there, let me do this. When it falls there, we want to watch for price action. Okay, let's change the color of this. We want to watch for price action. All right, and if we get a nice candle off like the 15-minute, 5-minute even, then we can enter. All right, and then our stop loss could be below. You see this? So we're looking at a very, very tight stop. Okay, $500 account, $100 contract, and you're risking about 20 bucks. So that's not bad. You're risking 20 bucks to potentially make anywhere between 50 to 75. This thing could even go. Look at the room that we have here for this thing to go. All right, we got plenty of room for it to go to 30, 43. Okay, before we see any type of pullback, maybe even here. All right, to keep it a little tighter, 29.64. That's still almost a $2. That's a $2 move right there. So that's still good. All right, so if you got a delta of 0.63 on this $27 call for the 11-day expiration, you could potentially come pretty close to doubling up on this play. All right, so that's all I have for today and for this week. We're watching LYFT, we're watching SOFI. Make sure you guys are in the Discord so you can benefit from all the plays. I may put out more plays midweek this week. There's some educational material as well in the education tab. Make sure you like this video, subscribe for the next one, so that way you guys can stay on top of your game. All right, God bless you and your families.